I guess most of the time, we hardly go back and see, are we still on the right track? Is that still something that I was looking for? What was the purpose when I'm doing this?
The food culture is evolving. Food in our time, for me, is really to pause and then look at what is happening in a different side of the world. We should adapt to the nature. We try to find the common language between different nationalities. But on the other hand, we are going back, try to find our heritage.
そしたらどうやって人間は生きていけばいいかなって考えた時に自然と相談しながら周りにある自然と相談しながら生きていくのが一番いいんじゃないかなって今は思ってる。だから
Every time we explore Peru, we get to see new stuff. I think that things that are happening here, they deserve to be seen by other people.
Right now, I think it's time for the revolution. Feed the planet means not produce more, but fighting food waste.
Everywhere I go around the world, the first thing that I always pay attention is cuisine. About what we're going to eat in the future. Our global food system is broken. 900 million people worldwide go hungry, while 1 billion are overfed. With food insecurity being a real problem for 1/10 of the global population, some chefs have started using their kitchen to send a message.
Tutto a mano, eh?
Massimo Bottura is the man twice voted #1 on the list of the world's 50 best restaurants. His 3 Michelin-starred Osteria Francescana routinely attracts culinary pilgrims from across the globe.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
I know Massimo for so many years, I guess 10 over years, and he's always the kind of person that has full energy and full of crazy ideas. I know that he started this place a couple of years ago. It's a place that he invites all the best chefs around the world, but no reservation can be made. So I'm here to find out what he's doing and what is this whole project all about.
Pass through the door. Oh, my friend. Oh,
Finally.
so long. This is the most neglected neighborhood in Milan. The refugees, home for women, you know, or like all that behind the church. There's all abandoned company factories, and in which all the homeless they were living.
Surrounded by blocks of social housing sits Don Giuliano's church, the site of Massimo's bold social experiment. What was it like when you first come into the church?
It was abandoned since 15 years. So it was a dark place full of dust and rats. I was scared to come here.
Right. In 2015, Massimo was asked to cook at various official functions of the Milan World Expo. Instead, he decided to make a statement about waste and about taste by setting up a Refettorio Ambrosiano, a pop-up kitchen where the world's greatest chef will cook for the city's homeless, using only unsold food from the supermarket.
At the Universal Exposition, the theme was Feed the Planet. In 2015, we produced food for 12 billion people. We are 7 billion on Earth, almost 1 billion doesn't have anything to eat. So, Feed the Planet means not produce more to feed the people in need,
Right.
but fighting food waste. We have to step back, use the chef, and the chef, they're gonna tell you what they can do with breadcrumbs, overripe tomato, bruised zucchini, leftover milk. Come. Andre, look at this. 12 tables for 8 people, 96 people. And here you have a walk-in refrigerator. You can really pick whatever you want. You have meat on the left, fresh herbs, fruit and vegetables,
Wow.
the dairy products.
As I know, the food is coming
From outside,
Yes.
because we have partners
Right.
like Carrefour, All Food, Coop, Italy. We have all these partners. They give us so much food,
Yes.
so much more food than what we need.
Yes. What is the difference between a refettorio and a soup kitchen?
We decide not to serve people as in a real soup kitchen, but to serve people in a restaurant, in our restaurant. Volunteers, they were serving people at the table. We have enough soup kitchen, but we need more places that united people around the table, in which you can share appropriate meal, full of beauty, that rebuild the dignity of the people.
Exactly.
What we want to do, we want to fight food waste, and we want to fight social isolation. Buon appetito!
Some of the biggest names in the culinary world have cooked at Refettorio Ambrosiano, creating new recipes that volunteers can replicate down the line. Massimo has asked me to pitch in.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, chef.
So today I'll be cooking for 100 people with the resident chef Ilenia.
Quindi, queste sono patatine,
Chips.
chips, grana croccante, granola,
Yogurt.
sì, yogurt, cheese,
Mozzarella.
mozzarella,
Pastas and tomato sauce.
carne.
Oh, we have chicken. We're gonna cook some chicken.
Sì?
Yes.
Ok. Bene.
Thank you.
Grazie Marco, a dopo.
A truck delivers unsold food from supermarket to the refettorio each morning. And then it's up to us to come up with a gourmet 3-course meal using whatever is in these boxes. Elena?
Sì.
The menu. The risotto with the fromage.
Sì, perfetto.
Okay. And herb pesto. Maybe some fruit. Peach. One piece.
Good.
Pollo.
Pollo.
Bell pepper.
Sì.
Yeah. And the pepper ravioli
Ah, ok.
Yeah.
Sì.
with sauté.
Perfetto.
Dessert. Citron. Gelato. Ricotta.
Sì.
Gelato. Okay?
Molto bello.
Happy?
Very good.
Okay, let's go.
Al lavoro.
Three years since the World Expo, what started as a pop-up kitchen has become a permanent fixture in Greco, run by a dedicated team of chefs and volunteers.
Perfetto.
Several of the volunteers are themselves residents of Greco and have seen how an entire community was transformed by the Refettorio.
Quando è arrivato il refettorio c'è stata un'azione di rifiuto, perché soprattutto una parte politica diceva non vogliamo i barboni a Greco. Invece quando hanno visto che le persone che sono venute qui sono persone che hanno dei problemi ma che si integrano bene con tutta la popolazione, allora hanno cambiato completamente idea. Il progetto ha cambiato molto questa zona perché è stato un momento di inserimento di tutte le persone che si interessano alla comunità.
This has been a long but fruitful day. Several of the guests even left a word of thanks before disappearing into the night.
Sì, gli ospiti non sapevano che stasera ci sarebbe stato uno chef di questo livello a far da mangiare, sono arrivati, come al solito si sono seduti, i camerieri li hanno avvertiti che ci sarebbe stato dei piatti speciali. Tutti hanno apprezzato moltissimo, tanto che normalmente se ne vanno senza fare nessun commento e molti si sono fermati per chiedere chi era lo chef e fare i complimenti. Quindi è piaciuto tutto, in particolare alcuni hanno detto questo è il gelato migliore che abbia mai mangiato. Io di solito non mangio i peperoni, ma per questa volta li ho mangiati perché erano buonissimi.
This is a journey of a contrast for me. I see the bright side and the dark side of the city. And also, I guess, it made me rethink about the mission of being a chef. In the kitchen, I met Ilenia and IFA. They were helping me in the whole process with 100% of energy and curiosity and try to learn everything as much as they could, because what an opportunity for us to cook together using everything that's supposed to be thrown away, the leftovers, and create something that gives happiness to people. And then you see beautiful people, and then they are there for someone else that needs more love than themselves, which I feel it probably doesn't even happen in any of the best restaurants in the world. I think probably this is the proudest moment of being a chef. You realize how food can change the environment, the community, the city, and at the end bring happiness to people. When we think about food waste, we got to realize that 1/3 of the food that we produce globally each year is headed straight for the bins. In 2007, an area the size of Canada and India combined was used to produce food that was not consumed. And from harvest to distribution to consumption, we waste food at every stage of the chain due to problems of handling, storage, or transportation. French chemist Herve This is the father of molecular gastronomy, and its big idea is nothing short of the eradication of waste using science. The first time I met Herve was in 2001. At that time I was working at Pierre Garnier, and there was constantly this gentleman come into the kitchen and talk about food, ideas, flavor profile with Chef Pierre. For me, he's someone extraordinary and then have endless energy and knowledge about food science. Someone that spent all his life thinking about what human being gonna eat 30 years later. Bonjour Hervé.
Hello.
Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Vous êtes en train de travailler?
Always. Right.
Vous allez bien?
You want to see something?
Yes. What were you going to show me this time here?
Uncooking an egg.
Cooking an egg.
Uncooking.
Uncooking an egg.
Yeah. This is the egg white.
Yes.
You have 90% water. You have some coil like this, which are the proteins. So when you eat, and they are uncoiled, the atoms take hands, makes a network,
Yes.
and the water molecules are trapped in the middle, which is a solid. It's cooked. If this is true,
Yes.
you add a compound that breaks this bond, and it should uncook. Sodium borohydride. You see, there is a beginning of a foam, like a whipped egg white. And when you wait after one night, the foam disappears and you get the uncooked egg. Same as before.
In 1994, Herve went one step further by posing the following question in a science magazine. Why not use pure compounds in the kitchen? That was the birth of a revolutionary idea, note-by-note cooking. How do you describe note-by-note in few words?
I predict that in the future, instead of using carrots and onions, we are going to use compounds to cook and to make food. Traditional food is made of compounds: water, cellulose, protein, saccharides, amino acids, odorant compounds, and so on and so on. So let's use this individual compound to synthesize food, to create food, to build food. We are going to make a dirac, which is an artificial steak. Generally, in a steak, in meat, you don't have cellulose, you don't have fibers.
Right.
So let's make an artificial meat, let's say, with cellulose. And now, to make the equivalent of meat, we need proteins. These ones are from eggs. Salt?
Yeah, salt, pepper?
No, forbidden. Pepper is not a pure compound.
Oh, okay.
But I have something for you.
Yeah. Pepperin?
Piperine. So it's a solution of piperine. What about fat? How much? Like in a very good meat, 25%?
No, it's not bad. I think it's good.
Okay. Garlic and onion.
Oh, this one is pretty good.
The crust of bread. Oh yeah, this one is so funny. How is it?
Start to look like a chicken, like a grilled chicken.
You think that it's cooked enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cooked.
You see, we have the crunch. And you see, there is no waste at all, because we use the right amount of protein, the right amount of water, the right amount of everything.
So when you first come up with the idea, would the public get offended?
At the beginning, I was publishing the paper. I was threatened by readers by death. They said, we are going to kill you because we are poisoning everybody and so on. When you attach to culinary tradition, it's very provocative. It's the same as with religion or with politics. Or not traditional meant dangerous.
To Professor Thies, no-by-no cooking will revolutionize how we tackle food waste.
Every food, crop, and animal product, once harvested, has a shelf life. But a compound will never spoil.
The tomato is 95% water. You transport water, which is crazy. And this water can spoil. Fruits, vegetables, with the eyes of a chemist, this is water, this is water, this is water. So probably 90%, probably 95%. So it's crazy. You let it, or just a shock during transportation. There is a brown damage, and this it is forbidden to sell it in markets. The equipment to fractionate in a farm costs, let's say, $2,000. Which is very cheap compared when you have a truck. When you're a farmer, you have a truck. A truck is $200,000, which means that you take a grinding machine, you fractionate the water, the non-water. You have some powders. The shelf life would be infinite.
Fish or meat, that's something that we crave for. So how do we apply no-by-no to it?
There is no opposition. We could have part of these products and note by note. It's like in music. You can have Mozart and Lady Gaga at the same time. Yeah. You can have traditional plus note by note at the same time. Food security is important. Today we have enough to eat, but tomorrow it's not sure. Food safety is very important. Enriching the farmers, sustainability, avoiding the waste, and so on and so on. I was not able to predict that in the beginning. But today, I see so many reasons to develop note by note. I show it to the young chef, saying, look, perhaps it will be your future. I will be dead, but you will be there. What is your responsibility? What are you doing? Note by note cooking is 100% innovation. So it's there. Let's use it.
Today I'm joining French chemist Herve This at the Cordon Bleu, where he's giving a masterclass to an audience of culinary students.
This compound has an odor of mushroom. What if we put 1 drop or 2 drops? Immediately you will change it into a dish with mushroom. This recipe here is a gyps. The idea is to make an emulsion from an egg white.
For the past 2 decades, he's been promoting a style of cooking that uses chemical compounds rather than traditional ingredients to make food.
Seminars, exhibitions, and TV appearances, are some of the tools Herve uses to gain acceptance for his provocative ideas on cuisine. No-by-note cooking as you envisioned, what would you like to see in your lifetime?
You know, I don't make wishes, I make it work. So I know perfectly that I have to be patient, I have to be slow. People have to understand very slowly. But if you do well, the other will copy you, and then it will be the development of no-by-note cuisine. If the chefs are there, then the public makes it. And it's not for us, it's for the future, for our children, for the young people, so no, it's very important.
Today, no-by-note cooking is still an artistic tool, the remit of top-notch chefs. But Herve This envisioned grocery store of the future selling bottles of compound as they would a bottle of vanilla extract or oregano oil. That vision is now realized by chemistry graduate Michael Pontif, who founded Ikemusu, the first commercial supplier of no-by-note ingredients.
When I was a young kid, I was always interested into culinary transformation. So I documented myself with Herve's book because they are the only one on the market that explains you what's happening. And while I was in chemistry school, I had the chance to attend to one of Herve's classes. So I decided that if nobody was doing not-by-note product when I finished my studies, I would start a company to make not-by-note product, to allow people to have access to these compounds. So we will take the example of chili. When you understand not-by-note, you understand that food is not created by one compound. Some compounds are here to give taste, other compounds are here to give the aroma. So what we will do is first extract everything, and after we will break down the perfume on one side and the hot compound in the other side.
So this is what everything that affects the palate, the spiciness.
Exactly.
Oh, it's punchy.
Here you have the perfume of the pepper, so you don't have any spiciness. Maybe.
You smell the chili itself and nothing else.
Yes.
It's a very strange. Sensation. Today we still relied almost 100% on the natural ingredients. What we're trying to do here is to create or to find the primary color or primary flavor of the ingredients. Maybe eventually we no longer relied on natural produce, or we can even enhance what the natural produce has already exist.
Yes, exactly. Now I show you how I can make spicy apple.
Okay.
Small slice like this. Malic acid, which is the acid of the apple. Little bit of fructose, which is the sugar from the apple. A compound that smells like cut grass. Gives the apple herbal note. Yeah, freshness. This one smells a little bit like pear. Lastly, this one to bring jammy flavor. Final touch, we will add the capsaicin, so little bit.
Spicy.
You told me you like spice.
Yes, I do.
The apple. Bubbles coming out of the apple.
So we replace all the air pockets.
By our liquid. Cheers.
Cheers. It's too spicy for you.
Spicy.
I told you not to add so much.
But it's
Mikael, you see all this rotten apple? Maybe when you live here, but you never really notice that there are that many rotten apples in the apple farm. These apples already consume the energy, the labors, the soil, and then it end up never leave the farm.
why do you need the farm for making apples? You just need building blocks, and these building blocks that can be assembled to create apple compounds are found in the nature. From rotten apple, for example, you can extract small compounds that you will reassemble to create new apple. For me, not by not, it's like giving you a sixth sense, the sight of what is invisible, what is inside the food on a molecular level. And when you have this sixth sight, then you can make great things.
I travel around the world and I see firsthand that how the temperature change, the climate change has impact to our food. For example, a piece of carrot today is no longer a piece of carrot 10 years ago. It doesn't have the same taste, or it doesn't come up in the same season anymore. Herve definitely provides us an option to our future.
And you see, there is no waste.
He didn't just come up with this idea today. He's been promoting this concept for the past 20, 30 years.
We might face some challenges of people think, are we eating chemical powders? I believe that all the greatest chefs around the world, from top down, to demonstrate to the public that this is what we can achieve from node by node.
Here is my life.
Meeting Mikael, it gave me a different perspective of how we see produce. What he's teaching us is to see through a piece of apple, a piece of carrot, and see what's behind it. It's the pure compound, primary colors, something that has millions of possibilities. So that gave me a hope to see that our younger generation is actually open for new ideas. I think we have a bright future.
While food poverty affects 1/10 of the world's population, at the other extreme, about the same number of people are obese. In Portugal, obesity rates are as high in adults as they are in children. And chronic diseases are one of the nation's main public health challenges. I'm here to meet Nuno Queiroz Ribeiro, an activist chef with a passion for healthy eating.
I met Nuno in an international conference about environment and climate change. Immediately we click because instead of cooking what people want, we want to cook what people need. How are you?
You, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
I don't think anyone, when they pass by this plot, will realize that it's just so many different varieties of edible plants that we could just pick up from here. You have the weed that grows together, the spinach, croquette, kale.
When you grow organic and you're preserving our natural resources and they all combined together and they grow wild, it's like a bush.
But I never really asked you properly why you become a vegan.
I had a big event in my life. Was the death of my father. My father had a cancer, and was very fast. Suddenly, he got really sick, and after 1 week, he died. My dad was eating a lot of meat, a lot of sugar, and my dad already had diabetes. Working at the time in Michelin star restaurants, we would use only trans fat. And this was very life-changing because I looked into the food and I understood the role as a chef. To bring consciousness and to bring awareness to people and to become a true activist. Andre.
Man, where did you buy all this?
Man,
Man, we're so spoiled. Do you also cook that at home?
This is the way I totally believe, the way we should eat, and this is the way I cook in my daily basis at home. The Mediterranean cuisine only has 7% of meat, so the plant-based diet, it's the main thing. Because we're not chewing a muscle from an animal. I'm not having hormones.
Right.
I'm not having antibiotics. Processed meat. It's a carcinogen, #1, same as tobacco. Animal protein represents more than 55% of the planet pollution. If we understand that eating beef, 1 kilo of beef represents 50,000 liters of water, how can we keep on talking that we want to save the planet and we don't change our food habits?
Not a lot of people really understand those inconvenient truths that you just said. In fact, I remember you told me before that the numbers is always there, but people just heard about it, but never really taken into action.
This is when I question people. Do you really love yourself? Do you really love your child when you see him obese? Because when you have a child obese, you're just taking 8 years out of their lives. I'm not saying that people should stop being radical, like you should stop today eating meat.
Right.
But you should start reducing. And when you start reducing, after a while, after a few years, at one point you say, there's no point, I don't need this no more.
And then you start to appreciate, like this meal today, I don't feel like I need any animal protein. I feel good.
I've been thinking about what Nuno said. 1 in 3 children in Portugal is overweight, and this is the first generation in history where children have less life expectancy than their parents. So I've decided to visit Nuno at Redbridge School, where he runs a catering company that makes healthy school lunches for the students.
Let's have some lunch. And I got you this little bag.
That's not my lunch.
This is where our kids have lunch. We receive beautiful ingredients from local farmers every day, and we prepare these amazing meals for these kids every day.
Beautiful. Now you make me want to open my surprise bag.
Basically here we have an example what the parents send to their kids.
Yeah. Tell me what happened now, the current situation for school kids' meal.
The budget is still low.
Yeah.
And they don't even have proper chefs working in their kitchens that understand the reality of cooking real ingredients. They have to pick a lot of processed food, and that's what they give to these children. For me, an healthy meal for children have to start by using real ingredients. When we use real vegetables, and we cook in a proper way so we can keep the nutritional value, we keep the colors, we keep the texture of the food.
Having a lunch like this or that, it probably costs the same, but in nutrition fact, it is completely different. You see that it's overly sugared with the carbohydrates and fat. And then the other side, you have fresh fruit, fresh ingredients, herbs, a proper soup, and proper chef is cooking it. I have to remove it from my tray.
Yeah, please take it away.
On Fridays, the students at Redbridge go on their weekly forest school. It's a way to connect with nature and learn where their food comes from.
It's very lucky that we have this forest. It's really in the heart of Lisbon, and the kids come every Friday. Oh my God! What are you doing? It's something very special that grows around when you have a lot of humidity. It's not edible, you shouldn't eat because it's not lettuce.
You know what's the name? It's called lichen.
Lichen?
Ouais, c'est un type de champignon, on peut le faire sécher et ça se mange.
Oui. Et aussi, c'est un type de maladie pour les arbres.
Oui.
I found this in the place where we were climbing. I forgot the name. Pine cone.
It's amazing to see that, you know, from my experience in Asia, things like this and the parents can freak out. It's like, you know, it's on a rainy day and it's in the forest.
They were scrubbing my face.
Yeah, exactly. The kids just picking up everything from the floor.
Yeah, that's the magic of doing this forest school. It's bringing the kids to really grab, like, taking carrots out of the ground, and they will understand that the carrots have green.
Yes. They wouldn't assume that the carrot is like that without dirt from the supermarket.
And when you get these kids involved in all of this process, they start loving the food, loving and eating things that they never thought they would manage to eat. We are all together in this educational path. Not just the kids need to be re-educated, the adults as well, because I believe this is a world issue. And I believe that these diseases are all common problems around the world. The beginning starts from our food options and our food choices in our daily basis.
Oh my God! I realized that Nuno took his love for his father, turned that into a bigger love for the society.
Look down to the smallest detail, and by simple change of their school lunch, that could make a big change. I see someone that is not gonna stop there. You know, he wanna do more. Having something substantial to push the government to really reduce the damage that is around us.
Our environment has been damaged badly. How do we continue into the next decade or next 2-3 decades if we're gonna reach 10 billion people? Our next generation, what should we prepare in place for them as an education? That's what I call legacy.